Once again, this is Jason Gawley coming to you live from TruIQ headquarters, Utah, United States of America, celebrating the reason why the CBX4 formulation is the flagship of TruIQ. And the reason why, if you're a member of TruIQ already, why you're earning and receiving cash and crypto for using and sharing this amazing formulation. Yes, TruIQ is based upon the reality of CBX4 and the magic, if I can use that term, of what these natural medicines can do for us. The reason why the company is called TruIQ is very simply, we all know that if we're empowered with the truth, we possess sufficient intelligence to make the right choice. And what most of us in TruIQ understand, in fact, all members of TruIQ understand, is that natural medicines are better than synthetics if they're proven to work properly, and if they interact with our blood chemistry in such a way so that we can actually have a response that will fix health issues, address some of our health problems, so that either whatever age we are, we can feel better, look better, and know that whatever's coming tomorrow, we're better equipped to deal with it. Now, the four primary natural medicines based in and in high concentrations of and also in CBX4 are the ones you can see here on the screen. CBC, cannabichromene, cannabidiol, cannabidiol, and cannabinol. Don't worry if you don't know those words or if you haven't heard those before. Even if you have, you probably don't remember exactly what they mean. But what's important for members of TruIQ to remember is that these replicate the 2-AG and anandamide that our bodies naturally make, or should be naturally making a lot of. When we were born, our bodies naturally produced a lot of this. In fact, the highest concentration, or I should say the best source of natural cannabinoids, as you can see on the screen there, is mother's milk. But these natural cannabinoids, after we're born and we're finally on our own, start to go down. We produce less of them, primarily because of our environment. We either have a polluted environment in which we live, perhaps we have a poor diet, maybe don't get exercise, all the different kind of lifestyle things that just pop up throughout the course of life. And that causes us to make less and less over the years. So the question is, how do we boost that natural medicine level back up so that whatever age we're at chronologically, we look, feel, and are at least as good as our years would suggest, perhaps, ideally, even hopefully, even better. That's where CBX4 comes into play, because it's what's called a complete medical blend. And this complete medical blend is found in not just one product, but a family of the CBX4 products here in TruIQ. But just to reiterate, it's very important for us to remember that the CBX4 formulation is comprised of a lot of cannabidiol. We've all heard about CBD, but that's only 1/4 of the benefits that we could get from these natural sources surrounding us if we grow them in the right place. We'll talk about growing it in here in just a second. But very few of us know about CBG, cannabidiol, the stem cell of cannabinoids. Pardon me. Or have you even heard about CBC, cannabichromene, or CBN, cannabinol? These four together, combined in one single concentrate, makes the complete medical blend. And that's why it's called CBX4. It's 4 cannabinoids in one, in the highest concentration of anything you'll ever find anywhere. Now, we also have to ask this question, though. Why would we want all 4 of those in one? Some of us have bought CBD products before. Gosh, you can buy them almost anywhere. Maybe even you've bought a CBG product or maybe even a CBC. I've never seen CBN for sale. Maybe it's out there somewhere. But individually, you can buy some of those constituent parts. But why would we want all 4 of those in one single place, one single concentrate? Well, the reason is this, my friends, is because when you start with CBC, and when CBC enters our bloodstream, our body responds to that and starts to adjust our blood chemistry, because now this natural medicine, this cannabinoid, has been reintroduced. If we're not making a lot of the 2-AG and anandamide and those other cannabinoids, if we're not making a lot of those, then our body says, oh my gosh, there's some CBC in here. Well, now let's distribute that throughout our body and take it to where our body will benefit most from it. But if you also happen to have CBD in your bloodstream, they combine, as you can see here on the screen, because they have an affinity one for the other. And when they do that, together also working with your blood chemistry, now they're searching for even more challenges to address. And the same thing happens if CBG happens to be found in the bloodstream. It also has affinity for those other two. And then, of course, the CBN, the cannabinol, if all four are found in the bloodstream at the same time, they combine together and they become what's called a supercannabinoid. And they start searching out problems throughout the entirety of the endocannabinoid system, which is why all people who use CBX4 have a different response. Some of us, it helps with our pain or our sleep or, all the different things that as members of TruIQ we've heard. That's because based on our body's need, that supercannabinoid will become a solution too. And if you're asking, where do these natural medicines come from? Where can I get all four of these? And how does CBX4 even come to market? Well, I'd like to remind you, if you're a member of TruIQ and have not been to CBX4 Farms, you're missing out. If you've been to CBX4 Farms, then you know that this place right here in Utah, United States, is where from soil to oil, from seed to family, these natural medicines are cultivated individually. Every single plant is cared for, almost like a baby, up until it's harvested, processed, extracted, and then made available to members of TruIQ. Now, to be clear, though, what I'm talking about is at CBX4 Farms, every single CBX4 seed is kept in a temperature-controlled safe until it's time, roughly, let's call it April-ish, sometimes even as late, early as March, when it's about time to put them into the greenhouse. And if you've been there, you've seen this, and you can see here on the screen here, once those baby CBX4s are placed in the greenhouse and start to sprout, as soon as they're just adolescent enough to be put into the ground, and we know that they'll weather the wind and all the other environmental factors, then they're entered and placed individually, one by one, into a 330-acre farm in central Utah, whereat they're cared for in a very specific, unique environment. And the reason why these plants are growing so well here and produce all these natural medicines here is because they meet, or the environment, I should say, meets the most important environmental factors. Elevation being one of those. Hemp grows, and specifically this kind of hemp that does not have THC, not marijuana, to be clear, but this specific strain of hemp grows best above 5,000 feet in elevation. It also needs to have the right ratio of light and dark, hot and cold, and has to have very pure water. And you all know, if you've been to CBX4 Farms, that all of those environmental factors are exactly perfect to grow CBX4 here in Utah. Just to show you some fun pictures here, that's Preston and me at the CBX4 Farms at peak season. To continue the discussion, so once the CBX4 plants reach their maximum potential, usually around September of this year, it might be even October, depends on, the weather as always, then they're cut at the base, harvested, hung upside down to dry in the dry Rocky Mountain air. And that image you can see here on the screen with the ladder, I think is kind of fun because each one of those plants is roughly 6 feet tall. So you can just see how many and how big this whole project is. But then once they're dried properly, once the hydration level goes roughly around 12 to 14%, then by hand, all the buds and leaves are removed from the stalks and stems to create what's called biomass, into which that biomass or I should say that biomass then goes into containers to further dry, sometimes even for a couple of years. The big red barn, as we call it, is full of, right now, about 400 of these 1-ton bags of CBX4 biomass. That biomass, when it's ready to be produced into CBX4, goes into a special medical environmental system that uniquely, safely, and organically extracts those 4 natural medicines, those what are called cannabinoids, out of that biomass, because it's in high concentrations there. You just have to pull it out. And it's using, as I said, just natural mechanisms that don't kill the bioavailability of each one of these natural medicines in there, those cannabinoids, at which point they're fully extracted into what's called crude. I know that's just that, a crude name, but this is important for us to remember, because that crude is the essence of what CBX4 plants can give us. Now, in that crude are all 4 of those cannabinoids, plus a lot of other things like terpenes, waxes, chlorophyll, some kind of things we don't necessarily want to eat, not very beneficial to the human body. Not that they hurt us, but they just don't really taste good or don't give us the benefits. So TruIQ further processes that crude and separates out each one of the cannabinoids into their own vessel. So as you can see at the bottom left of the screen, you've got the CBC, the cannabichromene, that's been separated out, and then the CB and the cannabinol, it's also in its own vial. The CBG, cannabigerol, it's also separated. And then once there's enough of an accumulation of each one of those 4 cannabinoids, they're recombined back together with organic hemp seed oil from the plants in order to create the CBX4 formulation. Now, fortunately for us as members of TruIQ, you don't necessarily have to get these natural benefits into your body sublingually. Here's what I mean. CBX4 formulation is available in several different formats. The chief one, of course, is what you can see here on the screen, the CBX4 sublingual concentrate. You put 1 dropper under your tongue. In fact, I've got a bottle right here. You just simply squeeze that little bulb on top, fill the little vial inside, place it on your tongue like this. Count to 5. Now just let that absorb, and you, for the first time, will start to just feel from your scalp down to your toes, your whole body is coming into itself. You're starting to reach homeostasis in ways that you've probably not experienced for a long time. It's truly an amazing experience, and it's entirely natural and organic. But as I said, some people, they don't necessarily want to use it that way. They want to try it in a different way. Well, whichever way you want, and I'll explain that here in a second, you're still going to get all 4 of these cannabinoids, and all 4 of them are uniting in your bloodstream to produce the benefits that your body needs. One of my favorite ways of using CBX4, in addition to the sublingual I just talked about, is the CBX4 Body Lotion. Once again, it still has all 4 of those natural medicines in there, all 4 cannabinoids, the CBX4 Complete Medical Blend, but it's also dispersed in a natural body lotion. So if you use a lotion of any kind for just maybe skin hydration, or for whatever reasons you use a lotion, you can know that this lotion will do whatever your body lotion does, but at the same time, it's also going to help those natural medicines permeate through your epidermis, through your dermis, your epidermis, even through the subcutaneous level down, and even permeating your bloodstream and into your nervous system. That's what's called transdermal. So whether sublingual or transdermal, there's a delivery system for you here in TruIQ. And even if you just happen to be out and about, and maybe you don't like lotion, or you already took your CBX4 that morning and just want an extra boost, or maybe you're going tanning, you're headed out to the beach, it doesn't really matter, because what does matter is that there's another available mechanism by which we can deliver those 4 natural medicines into our body, and that's called the CBX4 Body Mist. The CBX4 Body Mist, as the other CBX4 family of products do, it has all 4 of those natural medicines in there. In this particular case, it's in a lighter variation. You just spritz it on wherever you want to have a little bit more CBX4 added throughout the course of your day. It's a really fun, light product. And we'll end on this one. CBX4 super infused collagen 4. If you use a collagen lotion, you want to pay attention to this, Because imagine getting all 4 of those natural medicines we've been talking about over and over, plus 400% extra collagen in a low molecular strain that is sustainable from marine sources. I know that's a mouthful, but just consider this. If your body needs collagen, whether it's external, maybe you've got some wrinkles, bag sags, you want to restore collagenically your visible skin, or maybe you even have some joint issues and some ligament issues where there needs to be some extra collagen. If that's the case, well, super infused collagen 4 will drive as a transdermal delivery mechanism not only those 4 natural medicines, those 4 cannabinoids through your skin and down to where that collagen is needed, but they're also carried with the cannabinoids. So collagen plus cannabinoids equals super infused collagen 4. And that's what the 4 means. It's times 4, 400%, or to the 4th power of how much collagen the body needs. And it's available directly wherever you need it. If you have some specific, let's say your shoulder hurts, or you've got some knee or ankle pain. Let's use the example, you've got a bad knee, okay, as an example. Well, you can just put a little scoop of that on your fingers, rub that in vigorously to your knee, right on your knee, massage it in well. And what's going to happen is that collagen will absorb through your skin down into the joint. But once again, it's also carried with that collagen or with the cannabinoids to give you extra benefits. And so, my friends, this family of product, the CBX4 family of products, cannot be, or the value of it, I think, cannot be overstated. If you have a health issue of any kind, such as maybe you don't sleep really well, or you don't have a lot of energy, perhaps you have an autoimmune disease, or maybe you're depressed, you need energy. Those types of issues, if you've got a neurological, physiological, even emotional challenges, these natural medicines will adapt to your blood chemistry and produce a solution for you. And if you're wondering, how do I get CBX4? Where do I start? My recommendation is right here. It's as easy as become a member of TruIQ, join the Q Club, and we don't have time to discuss Q Club, but Q Club is the premier mechanism, the highest, best level of membership in TruIQ, wherefrom you can choose from the entirety of the CBX4 family lineup and even other products here in TruIQ, and also qualify to receive cash and crypto for using and sharing these products.